I'd failed the drug test, and they were removed from the home, placed with family friends. Then there had been evidence that they were abusing them, so they were removed from them and placed into foster care.
Who is a rising social media star with her own CPS shows. How are you, Georgette?
Hi, Mr. Davis.
Georgette, we're going to take another call now. We're going to talk to Dakota from Ohio. Dakota, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask? I wonder if we've lost Dakota. Dakota,
can you hear me?
I can. We're on live radio. Is this Dakota?
Okay. Yes, this is Dakota.
Did you have a
I'm here with Nancy, the mother of my children.
Okay, well, I can only talk to one of you. And did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Story to tell.
Go ahead.
We'd gotten CPS involved in our lives. I'd failed the drug test, and they were removed from the home, placed with family friends. Then there had been evidence that they were abusing them, so they were removed from them and placed into foster care. This is about our 4th month with CPS.
Is there a question you wanted to ask me?
I mean, I had called your office and spoke to you for about 10 minutes, and you gave me some really good advice that it's a little bit late in the game to get started on fighting. So the best thing to do in my situation would be to play ball and do everything that is asked of me in order to get them back.
But Dakota, what's your question you wanted to ask me today? Are you nervous being on the radio?
A little nervous.
Do you want to give us a call back when things calm down a little bit?
No, it's all right. I had to realize that I was the only thing that would have been the obstacle in getting the kids back up, because as long as I shape up, they won't ship out, if you catch my meaning.
I do, and that's generally the case. A lot of people call me, and a lot of people feel that they've been wrongly accused, and a lot have. But sometimes people call me and say, you know what, there was a problem. I did have this issue. And when they tell me that, I tell them, look, the only way that you can try to get these kids back quick, fast, and in a hurry is to comply with the judge's case plan. And typically if you're in California and there's a drug issue, it's, go to drug counseling, do your drug testing, take the parenting class, maybe go to individual counseling to deal with the issues on, why, you have this addiction and learn better ways to take care of the child. And it's straightforward. Having a drug issue is, a very difficult thing. I lost a son to drugs. He passed away
Sorry to hear that.
of an overdose. So I went through that, and I know dealing with the drug addiction is hard. I don't think it's necessarily a wellness thing. I think it's a medical issue. And some people are just more susceptible. But having said that, you just the way courts are run now, you're gonna have to deal with that drug issue, or you're gonna lose the child. That's difficult for me to say, but that's what's happening today. Do I think that's right? No, I don't think it's right for many, many reasons, but that's the law. And as far as the law is concerned, I'm just a messenger. I'm not, I didn't make the laws.
I understand that.
So, it's amazing that, you can say to yourself, hey, I was the hurdle. I'm the hurdle from getting the kids back, and I need to shape up and I need to get my act together, and, you can get your kids back. One of the things that you have to understand is, these judges, they're tasked with something that's very difficult sometimes, and they're tasked with protecting children. And the last thing they want to do is be called out in the news or in the carpet or in front of the state legislature for making a mistake and giving a child back to a parent who ends up harming the child. And believe me, I've seen that happen. There's a very famous case in Los Angeles County where the judge gave the kids back, and the kids, against the social workers, I think, recommendations, and the mother ended up committing suicide and, killing the children and herself.
That's terrible.
Right. And it's that's a career killer for judges, right? But,
yeah.
That's what, it's in my mind, a lot of times that's what judges are thinking. If I give these kids back to Dakota, is there going to be an issue in the future? And a lot of them don't want to take that chance. So if you get caught up and you do have a problem, Dakota, you got to address it, period. Now, if you were to call me up and say, hey, I was, wrongfully accused of using drugs, and I've never used drugs, and blah, 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 and I've heard that story as well, I could tell you, I could advise you differently.
That's not the case with me.
Right. It reminds me of a story. Many years ago, I was hired by a family, a woman, to get her children back, and she had told me in front of her dad that she was testing clean and the social worker wouldn't give them back. So they hired me. I walked into court, and one of the attorneys came over and said, I heard you were setting this case for trial. And I said, yeah, we want to get the kid back. And he said to me in a very nice way, he says, well, Vince, I would take a look at the social worker's report. And I did look at the report, and it said that mother had failed 9 of her last drug tests. So I go out, and the mother sees me walking over to the group of the family and, everyone, and she comes running up to me and takes me down in the opposite direction and says, look, you can't tell anyone in my family that I'm still failing my drug tests. Well, she decided that she would tell them she was testing clean when she really wasn't. And of course, her family was all up in arms that they thought she was testing clean when she wasn't. So I couldn't, tell anybody, the truth in the family. And I think to this day, this might be, 20 years ago, to this day, I'm the worst attorney in the world. But the bottom line was she really couldn't, kick that drug addiction. And it's hard.
2 minutes.
It's hard.
It is.
But Dakota, I want to thank you and honor you for acknowledging your problem. And I wish you the best. I'd like you to call in 3 or 4 weeks from now and give us an update on how your case is going out in Ohio. And, if you ever want to talk about anything, even if it's non-legal related, give me a call at the office, 888-888-6582. And I'd be glad to talk to you. Okay, Dakota?
Okay. Thank you. One last thing, though.
Yeah.
I am 3 months sober.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
One day at a time, my man.
One day at a time.
That's right. Okay, Dakota, thank you for calling.
Thank you, Vincent. Have a nice day.
You too.